Hello, good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you to the CDC annual summit. This is our 2026 annual summit. I, I'd, I'd really want to thank you for coming out. I know for some of you this was a really long drive because we are holding this summit on top of Mount Rushmore. Um, please ignore the part of this presentation that says it's being presented by Dr. Incompetent Leach II. He couldn't be here. He was sick. If you're wondering what my name is, I can't tell you because I don't know my name. If you're watching our Zoom broadcast, I ask that you please refrain from using the raise hand feature. It's very distracting and it'll probably make me stop talking, which I just don't want to do. I'm told to stop talking enough by the missus at home, so I would appreciate if everyone was civil as I present this because it's very important. So I'd like to take a quick look at the itinerary today before I begin my presentation in place of Mr. Incompetent Leach II. So as you can see, our first step on the agenda is I'll be presenting uh, an introduction to Joker Madness. Yeah, I see some people looking at me. Some of you recognize what that is. Some of you don't. Um, Secondly, after that, it shouldn't take too long. We'll have a presentation on my 8-year-old son, Slump D, the the littlest disease warrior. Sorry. So, um, sorry. Uh, Mark Lump will be presenting. Please remember to applaud. Last time, the room was very quiet and it felt very hostile. Mr. Lump felt very attacked. You can also salute if you want, but applauding is preferable because it's a little louder. After that, we'll break for lunch. We're being catered by Jack in the Box, and by catered I mean we just like ordered a bunch of Jack in the Box, put it in like a large bag. After that, it'll be kind of around like 3 p.m. We'll be doing open heart surgery on the world's first man who is just a heart in the operating theater. Please remember that seats are first come, first served. We had some drama last year about that. Let's be kind to one another. After that, we'll be looking at the key projects and initiatives, and then we will be doing other things after that that I didn't know how to include on this slide because there was 2 5s. Sorry. Right. So this is my presentation. Remember, I'm doing this in place of Mr. Incompetent Leach II, who could not be here. Um, it's an introduction to Joker Madness. Can anyone, is Mark in the, yeah, Mark, raise your hand. Everyone say hi to Mark. He made our new CDC logo. And he also made our new slogan, which you can read out of the bottom. I can't read it because I can't read that font, but it probably says something really good. And according to the presentation notes, it's like a memorable phrase, which I really appreciate. So I'd like show of hands. Yeah, how many of you know what Joker Madness is? Seeing good few hands. Probably you guys keep up with the news. How many of you know someone with a case of Joker Madness? Seeing fewer hands, yeah, but yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, but you probably don't even need to watch this presentation because you know everything because you've watched your loved one spiral into Joker Madness. It's kind of sad. That sucks. But for those who don't know, in 2020, a little thing happened called the coronavirus pandemic. I don't know if you guys were there, but we saw a new disease called coronavirus. Joker Madness is the mental disease equivalent of coronavirus. So it's possible that Joker Madness is a bioweapon. We saw a lot of absurd images of the Joker in the late 2010s and early 2020s that may have been priming us as a civilization to develop Joker Madness. Um, if you view an absurd enough picture of the Joker, he takes up residence in your brain, and this sickness, statistically, disproportionately impacts millennials with office jobs. As you can see at the bottom, we can only show you that much of this image. Anything else would be directly hazardous to my health and yours. I'm sorry we had to show you this image. It's very disturbing. In terms of the statistics, like rate of infection, we can see a strong positive correlation between years with bigger numbers and more Joker madnesses. So if you look at that graph, I don't remember what scale this is at, but that's a pretty intense jump between 0 BC and like 2024 and then 2025. Like you can see a very major spike. Um, Can anyone, is Linda from the statistics department, everyone, Linda prepared this graphic for us. Everyone, big show of, big round of applause for Linda. Thank you, Linda. Right, so as I switch to this, I see some people getting a little nervous. That Joker, that second image on the middle row, is a safe Joker. You can look at him and you won't get the madness. I'd like to show you some key symptoms. So some people kind of hold their hands forward like this. Yeah, I'm doing it. Like they're right under my nostrils. I think I like knocked a booger loose. That's kind of gross. You can also have the urge to draw the Joker on surfaces. Surfaces can be anything. It could be a piece of paper. It can be the walls. It can be your your bathroom tiles. It can be your shower. And you will be extremely resistant to having the effigy of the Joker removed. Also remember that you will come down with Joker fever, which is a fever of at least 3 degrees Kelvin. Also, sometimes you'll be seen leaning over a desk. I see some of you guys lean over desks at work, and I do get nervous. I do worry about you. So in the next 3 pages, sorry, next 3 slides, I don't use PowerPoint that much. On the next 3 slides, there are some examples of some Joker madness. You can see some Jokers that were drawn on surfaces. These are all either safe Jokers or Jokers that have been rendered safe through heavy editing. So you can see an example of Joker madness here that was like very, very moderate. There's different degrees of Joker madness. So I'm going to give you guys a minute to read that. In fact, I think I might read the captions out loud for, I know the font's a little, so can you guys see? Yes, no? Seeing some shaking of some heads. Okay. So I'll read it out loud. This is the Holiday Joker. It's an illustration taken from one Arthur Big, the smallest large. And when this image was taken, he was resistant to having it taken, but we did end up taking it. We interviewed him, and he said the following. The Holiday Joker is from Holiday. Oftentimes he goes on holiday and makes his drink. When he makes his drink and completes his holiday, he dies and no one likes him or sees him ever again, which is not superb. So, as we can see, this is what mild Joker madness tends to produce. We've had to vaguely distort this image, and for that I do apologize. But I assure you, were this any clearer of an image, your psyche would not survive the experience. So this was captioned Emo Joker. The Joker madness sufferer did not disclose their name when asked. They just said, "I'm the Joker," which wasn't really helpful. And when interviewed about it, their explanation was a emo Joker, but he just woke up after being at a party, which I agree is what this image illustrates. I apologize again for the level of distortion on this image. We can't show you any more than this, lest you contract Joker madness as well. We also couldn't we should really not dwell on this slide. We couldn't write an extended description just because it's so deeply maddening. I can feel myself questioning why I feel so serious as we speak, so I feel we must move on. What are the treatment options for patients suffering with Joker madness? Mild madness is treatable. with isolation from cell phones and the internet, being given a stern finger waggling, and then like a glass of cranberry juice for its antioxidant properties. Moderate madness, we forgot to write the treatment, and I don't know, sorry. And then with fatal madness, as the name implies, it's fatal. That concludes my presentation, or at the very least, this segment of it. I'll probably be back for open heart surgery if you guys want to hang out. I'd like to open the floor for questions. Any questions? It's okay to ask questions. All right. In that case, I'd like to step aside. I'll be joining you guys in the audience while General Mark Lump presents my 8-year-old Slumpty, the lidless disease warrior. Again, I'd like to remind you to please clap when he's done with his presentation.